Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Scarlet Witch. She made her first appearance in X-Men issue number 4 that was released in March of 1964. Her real name is Wanda Maximoff, but she's also gone by Wanda Frank and Wanda Magnus, being a mutant female that stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 132 pounds, having typically green eyes and dark auburn hair. Now, Wanda was born with the natural ability to affect probability fields, as well as being the offspring of a long line of sorceresses, which made her naturally inclined to magic. When you combine these innate powers with the fact that she has exhaustively studied many different forms of magic, as well as being enhanced by the High Evolutionary, you're left with Wanda being one of the most powerful magic-wielding beings in the Marvel Universe, actually being considered one of the few Nexus beings of our reality, as well as strongly being considered as a Sorcerer Supreme, which is the position and title that Doctor Strange holds. Now, the Scarlet Witch's main ability is known as Chaos Magic, which was bestowed upon her by a very old and powerful demon named Chthon, the god of chaos. This is separate from her ability to manipulate probability fields, as I stated earlier, and this allows her to manipulate various forms of powerful mystical energy and actually alter reality itself. Wanda's mastery of basically every form of magic has given her a long list of abilities that are almost too numerous to name. Just a few of these include astral projection, telekinesis, chronokinesis, telepathy, flight, force fields, manifesting powerful energy blasts, as well as absorbing various forms of energy. She can heal herself and others, elemental and atmospheric manipulation, necromancy, teleportation, and augmenting the powers of others. And if this weren't enough, she's also a very good tactician and expert combatant, being trained in hand-to-hand combat by Cap and Hawkeye. So she could hold her own in a depowered fight, although at her core she just has a normal athletic female ability. To be transparent, I would be wrong though if I didn't give at least a little credit for Wanda's powerful magical abilities to the training that she got from Agatha Harkness, who was key in helping her hone her abilities to become one of the best. Now, for a long time, Wanda and her twin brother, Pietro, aka Quicksilver, believed that Magneto was their father. Supposedly, their mother had left Magneto while she was pregnant, fearing that her husband would exploit their unborn children, giving them up for adoption. They would end up being raised in the Eastern European country known as Transia by a Romani couple named Django and Maria. During these developmental years is when Wanda would realize that she could cause strange things to happen. But one day, after accidentally making the house burst into flames, she was about to be stoned as a witch when Magneto arrived and saved her. This is when Wanda and her brother took on costumed identities and joined Magneto's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants to war against humanity. But after many different conflicts with the X-Men, the twins would decide to leave Magneto and later end up joining the Avengers, in return for full pardons for their past incidents. During this time is when Wanda would fall in love with and begin a long relationship with the synthezoid known as the Vision, with the two heroes eventually marrying each other. As time went on, Wanda would begin to study more and more real magic, getting more proficient all the time, and eventually getting to the point that when it was combined with her natural mutant abilities, she grew powerful enough to even defeat massively strong beings such as Dormammu. However, her increased power and the massive energies that flowed through her came at a terrible cost, fracturing her mind and sometimes making her emotionally unstable. At one point, she would conjure up imaginary children, since her and Vision couldn't have natural children, and name the two boys Tommy and Billy, who eventually would be erased from existence, but then come back as the superpowered beings known as Wiccan and Speed, having powers that were roughly equivalent to Wanda's and her brother Quicksilver. There would also be a point that the Vision was disassembled by the US government after trying to seize control of every computer on Earth. He would be rebuilt, but he would no longer have the same emotions and personality that he had before, which obviously led to Wanda and he getting a divorce. Wanda would continue to experience temporary bouts of insanity, and during one of her episodes, she would destroy the Avengers mansion, which took out a few of her teammates. She would also go on to use her powers to warp reality so that her so-called father Magneto would rule the world during the House of M event. But when she was stopped, she would remove the mutant gene and powers from 91.4% of all mutants on Earth during the famous act known as M-Day, when she uttered the words, "No more mutants." It has to be noted that the fallout from this was known as the decimation, and it also led to the demise of many different mutants around the world. It would later turn out that Doctor Doom had helped her channel too much power in an effort to bring back her children, and this had driven her mad. He had sneakily done this in an effort to later steal her powers, but he found out that he was equally unable to handle them. Subsequent to this, when the Avengers would battle the X-Men over the Phoenix Force, Wanda would return to the Avengers, despite Vision's protests. And although Wanda had some differences with the powerful Hope Summers, the two would work together to erase the Phoenix Force, an act that repowered all mutants again. Now fast forward down the line, and Wanda and Pietro would learn that Magneto was not their father while they were fighting against the Red Onslaught. They discovered that the High Evolutionary had taken them as babies and enhanced their powers. Wanda would then take some time settling her mind, working alone, and actually met her real mother, Natalia Maximoff, who ironically was known as the original Scarlet Witch. Wanda would eventually rejoin the Avengers, but this time she got possessed by the evil demon Chthon during the Hydra Captain America's time in power. Yet, despite again having another lapse in Wanda's alignment, Doctor Strange would free her from Chthon's influence, and she would go on to have many different heroic adventures to this very day. Now, due to her powers and abilities, and her influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Scarlet Witch a rating of 8, which is an unforgettable rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.